These are best 9v9 soccer formation, their positives and negatives, and how to use them to win games and to develop players. If you're coaching a 9v9 team, you know how important it is to pick the right formation that suits your players' skills and development needs. As always, you can use the timestamps to skip to a section if you want. We'll go over 3 popular 9v9 formations: the 2-3-2-1, the 3-1-3-1, and the 3-3-2. We'll break them down, discuss their strengths and weaknesses, and analyze how they function in the 4 phases of play: defending, counter-attacking, high pressing, and attacking. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of which formation might work best for your team. Let's set the context for the youth system, where we start with 4v4 when the players are 8 years old or younger, then move to 7v7 for ages 9 and 10, then play in 9v9 formations for 2 years, and finally full field 11v11 at ages 13 and up. Astute coaches will plan how to develop the players to make them competent not only in the current state, but overall for the future systems these players will play in. Let's start with the 2-3-2-1 formation. Moving from the 2-3-1 formation in 7v7, which is objectively the best formation for 7v7, we add 2 players as free attacking midfielders. If the setup is solid at 7v7, then adding these 2 midfielders will create lots of fun for your players. Also, note how it naturally moves to a 4-3-3 formation when transitioning to 11v11 in the future. The transition there will be that the midfielders already know their role, and now only the wide players will need to specialize. Some of them will become fullbacks while others will become wingers. This is a solid transition that most, if not all, players will execute easily. Now, let's break this formation down with the 4 phases of play in mind. In a low block defending phase, the 2-3-2-1 works really well because of its compact midfield and defensive setup. The 2 center-backs, 2 wing-backs, and the holding midfielder drop deep to form a tight defensive shape. The attacking midfielders also tuck in to support the defense, often one drifting to the side if needed, otherwise ensuring that the space between the lines is minimized. With this structure, your team is difficult to break down, as there are plenty of bodies behind the ball. The key here is maintaining discipline and patience as you wait for your opponent to lose possession. The most common issue we see is that the wingbacks tend to stay too high and act like wingers. They need to be proficient in shifting shape as the ball goes from side to side. The 2-3-2-1 is also a fantastic formation for counter-attacking. When you win the ball back, your 2 attacking players are in a great position to sprint wide, while the striker can quickly look to exploit spaces left open by the opposition's high press. The midfielders in the center are crucial, as they can link up passes quickly to the wingers or striker, springing a fast counter. Because this formation is already narrow and compact, it allows you to transition into attack very quickly, catching the opposition off guard. The 2-3-2-1 can be great for high pressing with some modifications. As soon as the opponents commit to a side, one of the attacking midfielders need to press that side, while the striker and the other attacking midfielder prevent easy passes to the other side. If that doesn't happen, then the press is broken and then you need to drop into a low block. The key is balance. You don't want to overcommit and leave your defense exposed. Building out from the back with the 2-3-2-1 requires patience and good ball movement. The center-backs play a crucial role here, playing the right passes to the midfielders. The midfielders need to understand their role and combine different options. If not pressed, they can turn in progress. Otherwise, they need to understand their role as the third man. So, a simple passing option is defender to holding midfielder, who is just a facilitator for the wingback. Alternatively, the holding midfielder might be here just to help retain possession and switch play. Finally, it is possible for them to exploit the space behind for the attacking midfielder. Similarly, if an attacking midfielder can be found as a passing option, then it should always be attempted. While it might mean we are breaking the lines, the longer the pass, the harder it is to execute and to control. Sometimes the pass will be behind the lines, wide into the space. However, very often the attacking midfielder will be the third man, facilitating the progression, displacing the opponents and opening space for our wingbacks or even our holding midfielder. With three midfielders, you have a solid passing triangle, and the formation allows for more options in the build-up phase. This makes it an excellent choice for developing players' ball control and distribution skills. But also, you have the wingbacks overlapping when needed. Since we are missing the wingers from the 11v11 formation, you have the wingbacks that can easily overlap while the attacking midfielder play more centrally in the half spaces. On the other hand, this is the perfect time to introduce underlapping, with the next up is the 3-1-3-1 formation. This is one of the most common setups in youth soccer because it is much easier to coach. You have three defenders, one holding midfielder, three midfielders across the middle, and one striker. Oftentimes, you see this being referred to as a 3-4-1 formation in a diamond shape. The issue I have with this formation is that it breaks the progression from 2-3-1 and then it breaks the progression to 4-3-3. For example, we ask the players to go from two center backs to one central center back. Then we ask them to go from one central midfielder in 7v7 to two central midfielders in 9v9 to three central midfielders in 11v11. It is much easier to coach the additions of wingers than the extra central midfielders that was never thought how to play together. The 3-1-3-1 generally works well when it comes to a low block defending setup. The three center backs form a solid line, while the holding midfielder sits in front of them, protecting the back line. The front three midfielders tuck in when defending, ensuring that the team is well structured and hard to break down. The simple rule is that those three players have to be within half the width of the field, or at most 2/3. So if one winger helps all the way to the outline, the other two midfielders will shift on that side. With the wide defenders at the back, it is a little bit more forgiving on mistakes by the wingers, but it requires work from everybody to cover. In terms of counter-attacking, the 3-1-3-1 is strong. The midfielders and wingers can quickly transition from defense to attack, with the wide midfielders able to provide width. The striker can lead the line, while the attacking midfielder looks to create quick passing options. In fact, that is why it works well in the youth systems, where the possession is rarely kept for long periods of time. A long pass into space on the flank can be an option for the winger for a cross to the striker. However, sometimes the striker is the one that will need to open on the flank, and if that happens, then the winger can cut inside. Generally, the front four players have lots of space for counter-attacking maneuvers. The 3-1-3-1 can be used for high pressing, as the three midfielders can push up to pressure the ball higher up the field. The holding midfielder can also step up to help disrupt the opponent's build-up. However, the important part is for the winger on the opposite side to come to the middle and support the center of the field. If needed, they might even have to take the place of the holding midfielder that went too high up. The key is having the right balance. Don't push the team too high without adequate cover from the defenders. The 3-1-3-1 offers solid options for building out from the back. The three center backs provide a solid base, while the holding midfielder can help dictate play by offering short passes. The important thing is for the central defender to pick one of the sides, while goalkeeper still stays as a passing option. Otherwise, having one less player is not the desired outcome. The downside to this formation is the fact that there is one less option through the middle, but the options on the wings are better. So the idea is often to find them with the first or second pass to break the lines. Then regroup from there with a pass to the middle or the running fullback. Alternatively, find the space behind either with a dribble or a pass to the striker. Finally, let's look at the 3-3-2 formation. This one is more attack-oriented, with 3 defenders, 3 midfielders, and 2 forwards. It's used for teams that are more focused on dominating possession and looking to press the opponent high up the pitch. We will not go through all the phases, but will compare them against the other formations. It can be similar to the 3-1-3-1 formation where the attacking midfielder pushes higher and the wingers tuck in. So, when you think about it, the 3-3-2 can often be how a 3-1-3-1 looks in low block situation. However, there is one main benefit of playing in a 3-3-2 formation for several games at the youth level. Players rarely get to experience playing in a two-striker setup. When looking at the most common formations today, the 4-4-2 and the 3-5-2 might not be the most common formations, but are definitely in the top 5. So, giving that opportunity for the attacking players to experience playing in a setup with two strikers is vital, and this formation can give that to them. So there you have it. The 2-3-2-1, 3-1-3-1, and 3-3-2 formations each offer different strengths and weaknesses when it comes to youth soccer development. The 2-3-2-1 is great for teams that prioritize defense and counterattacking, the 3-1-3-1 offers balance and flexibility, and the 3-3-2 is an attacking-focused formation that works well with a high press. The key to choosing the right formation depends on your team's strengths, the level of your players, and the tactical style you want to implement. Remember, youth soccer is all about development, so whichever formation you choose, ensure it encourages technical skill, teamwork, and understanding the game at a deeper level. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon to stay updated on future soccer coaching tips and tutorials. Let me know in the comments which formation you prefer for your team, and I'll see you in the next video.